Hello, Mayor, Council members, Council and committee members, city staff and members of the public. This is Alex Hamilton, your Fire Chief, with an Oxnard EMS Corps project update and staffing request. So the recommendation before you today is that the Community Services, Public Safety, Housing and Development Committee recommends the City Council, 1, receive a report on the progress of the Oxnard EMS Corps Workforce Development Grant, 2, approve and authorize the addition of an Administrative Services Coordinator limited term position to fill the Grant EMS Corps educator role. And finally, 3, to approve and authorize a reclassification of community paramedic position to EMS senior specialist to perform expanded grant administration activities and EMS program education. And before I go on, I'll just say that although it is listed as the Oxnard EMS Corps grant, this is actually a county-wide grant, and so we are this will benefit the whole county, but Oxnard Fire Department is the lead, and obviously the biggest population centre, and so likely we'll have a large number of the candidates that will be coming through this program. So as a little bit of background, on December 19th of last year, City Council authorised the Oxnard Fire Department to submit a grant application for the EMS Corps Workforce Development Grant opportunity. In February of this year, we were notified that we were selected as one of the sites, one of 11 sites across the state of California. And so although it's for, as it says there, for Ventura County, we are the lead agency on this EMS Corps grant. And so this program, it's an incredibly neat program. We're really excited to be a part of this. So the Public Works Alliance is the creator of the model EMS Corps program. And so this actually originally started up in Alameda County. But you can see there, it provides planning, readiness services, program support, and grant funds for each one of the individual sites and the development. So again, it was modeled after a highly successful program up in Alameda County. They've now had over 500 young adults go through this program up in Alameda County. So it's a well-oiled machine, I guess, at this point. But it does provide transformative opportunities for folks to come in and sort of get an introduction to the healthcare industry through gaining their EMT certification. But it does offer a range of other services to ensure that these students are successful. So one of the things there, so normally an EMS course is 160 hours. This grant requires that we provide at least 380 hours of training, more than double the regular amount of training, because we want to make sure, we want to guarantee that these folks are really successful in going through their EMT certification and ultimately going on to get their national registry in EMT. So you can see there the eligibility. So it is for young adults. And generally, we are looking for folks that have a barrier to employment. So whether it's economic or housing insecurity, disconnected from school or work, potentially adverse interactions with the justice system, youth parents, foster youth, and current or former Title I school students. They're the candidates that we're looking for to put into this program. So part of what the grant does, in addition to the position, the limited term position that we're looking for in this presentation, all the students will get $1,500 a month in a monthly stipend for attending the EMT classes. And then there's a range of these wraparound supportive services. So we're going to help with tutoring, fire personnel from across the county. We'll help with mentorship. The grant also provides legal assistance if folks have a criminal record. Obviously, you can't preclude them from becoming EMTs, so it has to be a relatively minor criminal offence, but they can provide legal assistance in helping getting records expunged or sealed, providing mental health assistance, healthcare navigation, which is a big piece of this, as well as physical fitness and nutrition. And so these are a lot of the pieces that we've been working on putting together to get this grant stood up. And so the other piece that we've so these are some of the add-on pieces that we've been able to do with this grant, and with the additional support we're getting from some of our partners in this program. So high school diploma support. So if somebody doesn't have their high school diploma, we're going to help work with them as they're going through their EMT class to work towards a diploma or high school equivalency. And then if they are eligible for Next Gen, then we can also provide support for transportation, for childcare, and some other employment workshops. So the way this grant works is that we, as it says there, we're notified of our selection as one of the 11 sites in California. And so the grant starts with a $181,000 planning grant, and that is through the Public Works Alliance. And then we have just submitted now the second part of this grant, which is for $1.27 million from the Employment Development Department, EDD. That's the state agency. So all of the money, the original 181,000 and the money coming from it's all EDD money, but that initial funding is coming through the Public Works Alliance. They are sort of our partners and have done this in many other sites, not only here in California, but other places across the nation. So they're helping us stand this up. But you can see there, these are some of our various partners for this program. So Clinicus is going to help us with that healthcare navigation piece. Workforce Development is helping us and connecting us with additional funding to help with our transportation, those other services. Vista Real is helping us with access to classroom and teaching facilities. And because they have schools both here in the West County and in the East County, they've been a great partner. And then Casa Pacifica as well, helping with some of the behavioral health support. And you can see there, the local EMS agency is also a partner, along with AMR as a potential employer. Goodwill is the Workforce Development's contracted partner for some of the additional funding that we'll be looking at tapping into. And then obviously our partner fire department agencies as well. So really exciting, pulling together a lot of different partners to make this happen. Additionally, one of the other things, after we received this grant and as we've been working to basically extend this money as far as we can and get as many young adults through this program, is we actually also received a COYA grant award. So that's the California Youth Opportunity Apprenticeship Award. And so this is basically will help us add additional young adults through this program. And basically by being a part of this COYA grant and attaching this to the EMS core grant, what we'll then do is folks that go through their EMT certification, we'll help them pass or help them work towards passing the physical agility test to be then placed on a statewide eligibility list for fire service jobs. So real potential for folks coming through this program to ultimately become firefighters for us or somewhere else in the state. So you can see here, this is something that I've already covered. The additional planning grant comes from the Public Works Alliance to then move on to receive the additional $1.2 million in EDD. And so that will help us. The basic requirement for that $1.2 million is to get 3 cohorts of 20 young adults through that EMT certification. But with the additional $517,000 from the COYA grant, we're actually going to be able to add a 4th cohort, and so a total of 80 young adults. And if we keep figuring out ways to stretch these dollars, we're hoping to be able to even do a 5th cohort. So we're working towards that, and I have to give credit to both of our administrative paramedics here in the office. Alejandro and Jaime have done incredible work in stitching together all these partners and putting together all these pieces of the puzzle. It really is a fantastic opportunity for our young adults. So the request before you today is to add one full-time limited term position that would be an educator and basically run those EMT classes, but then also reclassifying our community paramedic to an EMS specialist senior. Both the reclass and that limited term position will be wholly covered by the grant funds. And so Alejandro, who's our community paramedic, he's going to be sort of something of a project manager overseeing this. And so he's going to work on the recruitment of these young adults and then help shepherd them through the process, ensuring that all of our various partners are playing the roles as these young adults go through the program. So you can see there the limited term position will have an annual cost of $94,342.67. Again, that we funded by the grant, and then the increase or the position reclassification will add $4,972. And so both of these amounts will be offset by the grant. And with that, we'd be happy to answer any questions that committee or council members might have. Thank you so much for the time.